we're going to spend time in designs. Again, you can click on that red KW square in the top left corner. And when you do that, the words will pop out. But designs looks like the pad and pencil here. So if I click on designs, if you have not created any designs yet, what you're going to see on this screen is a whole lot of nothing. These are your designs that you've made, pages for your website you've made, social media posts, print pieces, whatever it might be. You can flip through them. Down at the bottom it says viewing 1 through 15. I can flip through and view all the designs that I've made. And then I can sort by clicking on any of these buttons up at the top. So if I only want to see my social media designs I've created, I can click social, and now it's going to show me just those. Or my print pieces, now it's just the 22 print pieces. And I can go back into any one of these to open it up, to print it again, to use it again, or to edit it. When you set up a design, when you find a design that you like initially, let's say it's a social media just listed post. You go through and you build that post out the first time. Next time that you have another listing, you can go back into that same piece by opening up designs, finding your design. So let's click on social. Let's just say it's this open house design in the top left. Pretend that was for my last listing. So for my next listing, I can go back in here, click on my open house piece. It does take just a minute to load up because it is actually putting it into the editor so that I can manipulate it and change it. Okay, so there's my piece that I made for the last listing. Now, if I want to just utilize this same look, because maybe that's my new, I want that to be my new brand. All I've got to do is go in here, and under the KWLS on the left, if the listing's already on the MLS, I can find it in here. I can go in and I can search for a listing. I'm just going to find a random listing here. This happens to be in Hoboken, New Jersey, but it all works the same. So I can go through, I can find my listing and hit select. And there's all the photos. And over on the left here, I can click on listing details to see the info. So all I've got to do is go back into this existing design, click on the picture that I want to replace, find the picture that I want to use. Let's just say it's this one. And all I've got to do is click this little symbol with the 2 arrows as replace image. That will directly swap it. But then I can go in and swap that. I can double click on this text where it says join me Friday. And maybe this one's going to be on Saturday. I can just highlight or delete, change that out. And obviously I need to change out the address here as well. I can click and retype that, or I can click listing details on the left, click on the address or the item that I want to replace, and then go over here and click the same little symbol with the 2 arrows to do a replacement. Because your address may be a little longer or shorter, you may need to manipulate it, change the font size a little bit. But I could go something like that. Boom, in about 1.5 minutes, I updated an existing design. Then I can go up here and download it. So I just wanted to show you how you can utilize those designs again and again. Save this one, sure. So when you want to come in here and create something new, when you first get into designs, again, the pad and the pencil on the left, you'll be clicking the plus button in the bottom right corner. You'll do that anytime you want to create something new in here. When you get in here, you've got a few options. You've got social print, email, video, and then you actually can load in your own PDF. And if we get time, we'll talk about that. But let's say we want to go through and make a listing presentation or buyer presentation, because the concept is the same no matter what you're creating in here. So we'll click print and click next. Okay, so when you get into designs, you select if you want to make a social or print piece. We chose print. Down the left-hand side, we've got categories of the types of print pieces. So we've got app related, listing, buyer, lead gen, business basics. I have leadership, you probably won't have that one. Let's look at buyer. Let's say we're going to make our buyer presentation. I click on buyer, you can see I've got a couple different things here. Look at Neighborhood Snap first, because what I want to show you is that there's a few different types of medium as well. So after you select from the topic on the left, just above the samples here, you have the options to change from the different types of media that are available. So for example, this one is available, this design is a postcard, a flyer, or a door hanger. So that's where you can change the type of design or type of medium. So under buyer presentation, those are all going to be set up booklets, which is why I wanted to show you that Neighborhood Snap first. These are basically the same, just different color schemes for the most part. Slight design differences between the two. So let's say we want to use this black one. We're going to go through and click Use. And then now it's going to take that design from the library and load it into the builder so we can start editing it and manipulating it the way we want. The reason I wanted to show you the buyer presentation is because a lot of people don't have them set up yet, and it's pretty easy to do through here because KW has given you just a few pages to start. So if you look down the left here, you can scroll through. So all you have to do in here is find the page that you want and click on it, and it will add it to your design. So the left-hand side are the available pages. Those aren't the pages that you've that are already added. You get to pick and choose which ones you want to add. So now that I've added this page by clicking on it, down at the bottom I can click on pages here because I can see 2 of 2. I can click on pages and a little menu will pop up and show me the available pages that I've selected to add into my design. The first page I think is the instruction page. I don't know why it's giving me a preview. Okay, I'm going to click on the arrow here and get rid of that page because I don't want that one. Okay, so I've got my very first page here. I'm going to click the pages button again here to make that menu go away. And now I want to go through and I want to add some more pages. So here's your instruction page. I would add that in so that you can see the instructions and then just delete it when you're done. So we'll click on that one. We're going to add our client name page. Let's add the table of contents. All right, so we're just going to go through and add just a few more here. The nice thing is most of the text in here is built out for you. There's really not a whole lot you have to customize. There's more in the listing presentation that you would customize. Now that being said, you do have the ability to change out anything and everything in here. Okay, build your preferences. I got that one. Wish list. Okay, you get the idea. So I've added 10 pages. And let's add the end page. Okay, so now if I click on this pages button, you're going to see the 10 pages here. And if I don't like the order, all I've got to do is click and hold down on a page and drag it and drop it wherever I want. So now that I've got my pages, I can scroll and flip through them at the bottom here, or I can click the pages button to see that menu. So let's go to that first page by clicking on it. And then click the pages to make it go away, that little button. So now that I've got my design, I've got the kind of the basic layout. I can still tweak it later. Overall, I really like this. Now what I need to do is I need to change this to be branded to me, right? So I'm going to click where it says first name. Actually, I'm going to double click. And I'm just going to delete that out. And I'm going to type in my name. And then the same thing, the last name here. Now the alignment didn't work, so all I got to do is click on Marty, and up above here, up above your design, is your formatting toolbar. I can go here to change my font size, my font color, bold, bullet points, all of that. Well, we want text alignment on this one, and we're just going to change that to a right alignment. That'll put it right next to it. There we go. Now we need to change out, this happens to have a team logo on it and the Market Center logo. So I'm going to click on that Market Center logo. That's what I want to replace next. Well, the tabs down the very, very left are where you can get into some of the design elements and to your library additions. So if I click on images, you can see there's a couple of tabs up here. There's a My Library, which are images that I've loaded. Company is going to be KW provided ones. They do have a whole bunch of stock photos in here too, and you have every right to go ahead and use these in any of your marketing materials. And then add is where I can choose to upload my own, or I can connect to my Facebook, Google Drive, Instagram, things like that, and pull photos from there as well. And then under the logos tab, if you have not loaded any logos yet, you'll just have circles with big plus buttons here, and you can load a couple of designs, or logos in this case, into your library. It only lets you add 3, but you can swap them out at any time. Those are just meant to be quick and easy at the ready for you to quick go in there and just swap that logo in wherever you need it. So I have like my logo, and I have 2 variations of the KW logo. So when something's already in there, I can click on the item that I want to replace, like the DBA logo here, and all I got to do is go over here and click the Replace Logo button, and it'll swap it out. Sometimes the alignment is a little weird, just because our logo is very much rectangular versus square. So I can go in and I can resize by clicking on the dots in the corner, and I can adjust this. Now, if I don't want the team logo, all I got to do is click on it and hit the delete button, click on the placeholder and delete again. Or there was a trash can in the left. And then I could simply move this to be centered. I'm going to undo, which is in the top left corner. And now if I wanted to replace this with my own logo, I could click on it, go back into logos, find my own. Oops. Come on, play nice for me here. Well, sure, now it doesn't want to give me the replace symbol. Okay, well, if it doesn't give you the replace symbol, you can click on it, delete it, and it'll give you that placeholder where you can then go drag. And doesn't want to play nice at all. We'll get rid of the placeholder, and then I can add my logo, resize, move it around. So I could adjust this, excuse me, any way that I want. It is fully customizable. If I wanted to, I could even delete everything and start from a blank slate. If you hold Shift on a PC, you can go through and select multiple elements, like I selected my logo and the KW logo, so that I can move them around together. Now, if you don't have yours in the library here, you can go into by clicking on the plus button, and it'll let you select that from your computer to upload it. So now that we've got that first page, let's jump to the next page, which is, I put that instruction page in here. It says, they have the little warning at the top there, remove this before using. So this is the instruction page. This buyer consultation is designed for you to use and customize, and then it tells you kind of what information to include and how you would go about customizing that. So let's skip to the next page. Now this would be like my templated page where I would create this design once, and then when I get a buyer that I want to go meet with, I could then open this existing design up, add their name, and then download it and print it. That way they're going to have a customized one with their name on it. If you didn't want to do that, you could delete this box off, both of these actually, and then it just wouldn't be a customized, it would be a little more generic. So those are the two ways you can leverage it. You may want to replace photos or the ones that look a little more like Minnesota. That's totally up to you. If you want to do that, I suggest getting photos that you had hired somebody to take. The other option is you can get royalty-free photos. I typically recommend the website Pexels, P-E-X-E-L-S, Pexels.com. That's a pretty good site that has royalty-free images. The problem with that is sometimes it's hard to find a home that looks like a Minnesota home in there. So that's where I could click on this photo, and I could go into my images and company, and I could go find a photo of house. I clicked on house types. I could go in there and I could find something that hopefully would look a little more Minnesota-like. Or maybe I just wanted to use something that was like the door, something a little more generic. Totally up to you. You can build this out and customize it any way you want. Because obviously something like that does not scream Minnesota. Maybe I just want a picture of the kitchen in there. Except that one's a little hard to see for the name. So I could easily click and move, and I'm just clicking my arrows or dragging this up. So now what I need to do is I need to customize this to me. And this is where I would go in and I'd click on the photo. And then over on the left, I could go into images, I could go into icons. So in images, I could go to add, and I could upload my photo right here. I've already got mine, and I had it put in my library. So all I need to do is go click on this photo and replace it. Same with this logo. I can click on it and oops, hit delete there. I could go in there and I could replace it with my own, or maybe I don't even want one. Same way I did it on the front page, I'd replace this DBA logo and adjust the placement. if I need to. If you need to zoom in a little more to read this really tiny text, it's in the very bottom right corner. You can click on the up arrow or the plus or minus magnifying glass. Maybe I want to move to 150% so I can see what this says. Do want to update this with the Market Center name and address. Go through and update this with all of my information. Let's zoom back out. And then I'd go on to the next page. Now, if I didn't have all these pieces, I could easily go through and delete the My Promise section or the At Your Service, whatever element I decided to omit. And then I could simply go over here and delete, hitting the delete key, the bullet point I don't need. There's my table of contents. So I highly recommend reading through, line by line, word by word, every page on here so you know exactly what it is that you're saying in there. But most of this does not need to be changed at all. You can see this is very templated out, very well professionally written. Here it's talking a little bit about the app. So all I need to do here is put in my app link. Go through each page. When you're done, excuse me, when you're done, you can click up here to name it, and I'd call this buyer presentation template. By me putting the word template in there, I know that, hey, I need to go in there and do something before I just send it off to a client because I want to put their name on it to customize it. And then I could click download in the top right corner. Click the download arrow. You've got a number of options here. You can download pretty much any design as a JPEG or a PNG image. That's going to be for your social media sharing, Facebook, Instagram, things like that. In this case, since this is a piece that I'd want to actually print out to give them, I download this as a PDF. So I'm going to click Get PDF. And I can say, do I want to get all of it? Do I want to get just this page, just certain pages? I can pick and choose. And then do I want to get standard web quality or high resolution? So for something like this, you would do the whole design, and I would do the high resolution print quality. That way none of your pictures come out grainy looking. And when I'm done, I do have extra options hiding under Publish. Most everybody doesn't need those. Click Start Download. Now it's going to prepare, bundle, and wrap up the whole design. Typically takes 15 to 30 seconds. If there's a lot of pages, it could take up to a minute. And that's going to go and download. There it popped up at my bar at the bottom. I can click on it, and I can see super nice, clean, easy design. I didn't delete my remove this page, so make sure you do that. Pretty awesome way to get a buyer presentation in not a lot of time. Once I'm totally done, if I click the Done button in the top right, then it'll save it all. You want to make sure that you do that so the whole design gets saved. So let's just pretend I printed it out and I proofread it tonight, and then tomorrow I was like, oh my gosh, I got to make this change. I can go back into Command and click Designs on the left-hand side. My newest design should be the top left corner because they're sorted, newest to oldest. So I can click on this design or my buyer presentation template, and that'll reload it into the editor.
Okay.
And now I could go through, let's see, I think this was the page I needed to get rid of. Yep. So I can click Pages down at the bottom here to see all the pages. Here I can click on the little arrow, and I can duplicate. I can add a new page, duplicate, or delete a page right from here. Trash can, delete, fixed. And let's say I spelled something wrong and omitted a word on this page. Let's go to this one. I wanted this to say My Promise. Go ahead and repeat the process, download, and done. And I'd have my fixed version. It says, hey, do you want to save? Yes. So here's what's really awesome. Now I downloaded it, I proofread it again, and the next day I'm like, you know what? I liked the way it was before when it said promise and not My Promise. Well, I could open up my design again, and in the top corner, there's the KW logo, there's File, then there's this little clock. If I click on the clock, I can access all of the previous versions. Every time I hit done, it saved it as a new version. So if I did an open house flyer or a just listed post, I could go back into that and update it next time, and then the next time, and the next time. And then I could go into that design and click on the turn back time here, and I could access any of those previous versions. can be real handy in case you, maybe you got a listing, you shared it on social media, then it went pending, you use that design for the next listing, and then something fell through and that original listing went back on the market and you wanted to utilize that design again. Well, you could revert to a previous version to go in there and utilize it again.